Hello students, in this video we are going to learn the sixth chapter, evolution. So before entering into the lesson, let us see, so what are the things we are going to learn in this lesson? Chapter outline, that is origin of life, geological time scale, biological evolution. Then we are going to learn about evidence for biological evolution, theories of biological evolution. Then we are going to learn about mechanism of evolution, Hardy-Weinberg principle, and origin and evolution of man. So these are the headings we are going to discuss in this lesson. So first is introduction. So what do you mean by evolution? So the term evolution is used to describe the heritable changes in one or more characteristics of a population of species from one generation to the other. So what do you mean by that means? So as the times goes on, so what will happen? There may be some characters, new characters will develop among the population of the species. So if that characters are heritable, then it will pass from one generation to another generation. Thus it leads to evolution of new species. What about the mankind? So at present, okay, the mankind on the earth is the outcome of three kinds of evolution. So what are the three kinds of evolution that made mankind at present are chemical evolution, organic evolution, and social or cultural evolution. So, age of earth. So the age of earth is determined by means of radiometric dating of meteorites. So based on the radiometric dating of meteorites, it is estimated that the age of the solar system and earth might be 4.5 to 4.6 billion years. So the newborn earth remain inhospitable for the life. That means it is not suitable for the life. So as the newborn earth is too hot because of the collision of the planets. So because of that, the entire earth are in molten stage. So later, gradually, the earth surface started to cool down and it gets solidified and form the earth crust, which was released, the water vapor which was released from the interior of the earth get cooled down and it condenses to form oceans. Hence, it leads to the origin of life. Then the biologist, so in order to find out the evolution of life, how the or life originate on the earth. So in order to find out that, biologists proposed many theories to explain the origin of life. In this lesson, we are going to discuss few theories. So let us see what are the theories proposed by the biologist. So origin of life, evolution of life forms. The first theory is theory of special creation. So from the name itself, we can easily understand that according to this theory, the supporters of this theory said that life was created by a supernatural power, which is respectfully referred as God. So according to this theory, God only created this earth and the life which is present in the earth, found on the earth. So according to Hindu mythology, according to Hindu religion, Lord Brahma only created all plants and animals and the universe. And according to Christianity and Islam, God only created the earth and plants and animals. So that is the concept of this theory. The next theory is the theory of spontaneous generation or abiogenesis. So what do you mean by spontaneous generation? All on a sudden life formed on the earth from inanimate material, that means from non-living things. So that is called as theory of spontaneous generation or abiogenesis. Say living organisms originated from non-living materials and occurred through stepwise chemical and molecular evolution over millions of years. So the term abiogenesis was coined by Thomas Huxley. So the next theory is Big Bang theory. So you know very well about this Big Bang theory, is it? So what do you mean by Big Bang theory? So according to Big Bang theory, the universe formed as a single huge explosion. Because of a single huge explosion, the universe had formed. So in the case of Earth, according to Earth, the primitive Earth, that is the ancient Earth, it had no proper atmosphere. First, after the formation of Earth, at first it won't have any proper atmosphere. So mostly the atmosphere consists of ammonia, methane, hydrogen and water vapor. And also the climatic condition of the earth is also very harsh. It is extremely high. So it is not suitable for the life. And meantime, at the same time, the UV rays from the sun that split the water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen. Then, so after billions of years, the earth gradually started to cool. So its temperature gets reduced. Because of the reduction of temperature, the water vapor condensed and it formed rain. So and this rain filled the depressions on the earth crust. Thus water bodies formed. Then the ammonia and methane combine together and form carbon dioxide and other gases in the atmosphere. So thus the earth formed according to this Big Bang theory. The next theory is theory of biogenesis. So according to this theory, what the biologists are saying means the life is originating from the pre-existing life. So that is called as theory of biogenesis. See, life arose from the pre-existing life. The term biogenesis also refers to the biochemical process of production of living organisms. So how the living organisms arose from the pre-existing life means because of some biochemical process. So nowadays what we are calling that metabolic reaction, that is called as biochemical reaction. So because of the biochemical process, the life originated from pre-existing life. So the term biogenesis was coined by Henry Bastian. So next theory is theory of chemical evolution. So according to this theory, so the primitive organisms, that is the ancient organism which are found in the primordial environment. What do you mean by primordial environment? Means, so that is earliest stage of the earth's environment, that is called as primordial environment. How this primordial environment evolved means this evolved spontaneously from inorganic substances and physical force like lightning, UV radiation, volcanic activities, etc. Two main scientists, biologists, gave more idea about this theory. So according to Oparin in 1924, what he said means, so organic molecules could have undergone a series of reaction and form more complex molecules. So what he told means, many organic molecule, it will undergo series of reaction, thus it forms a complex organic molecules. And these complex organic molecule formed colloidal aggregates or conservates. So these large complex organic molecule, they join together and form a colloidal aggregates, or it is also called as conservates. So which is in the aqueous environment, that means in the water bodies. Okay, so what do you mean by conservate? Means actually conservates are nothing but the first pre-cells. Okay, this is the first cell, pre-cell, that means before the formation of the entire living cell. So first the cell is formed in the form of conservate. So actually conservate is a large colloidal particle that precipitate out in the aqueous environment. So because of the aggregation of the complex organic substances, it form in the aqueous medium, it form a pre-cell that is called as conservate. So what is the property of this conservate? Means it has the ability to absorb and assimilate the organic compound from the surrounding environment. So it has the ability to absorb the substances. What are the substances they need? It can be absorbed, and it has the ability to use that absorbed substances, organic compounds. So at the same time, another one scientist, Haldane, in 1929, he told that primordial sea, that is, what do you mean by primordial? That is the earliest stage of the earth. The sea which is found in the earliest stage of the earth, that is called as primordial sea, that served as a vast chemical laboratory. And for this laboratory, the power is supplied by solar energy. So here the primordial sea serves as a large chemical laboratory. That means the sea contains lot of organic chemical substance. So it served as a large chemical laboratory, and it gets the power from the sun. The primary atmosphere, the primordial Earth's atmosphere do not have any oxygen. So the atmosphere was oxygen free at that time. Because of the solar energy, and the substances like carbon dioxide, ammonia, UV radiation, they combine together and form many organic compounds. So because of the formation of more number of complex organic compounds, the sea become hot dilute soup which contain large population of organic monomers and polymers. And this group of monomers and polymers, they join together and form lipid membranes, and that lipid membrane further developed into first living cells. So organic monomers and polymers are nothing but monomers are glucose, amino acids, fatty acids. So these are all the monomers. Polymers are carbohydrate, protein, fat, that is lipids. So they all aggregate together and they form a structure. Thus it forms first living cell. And he coined the term prebiotic soup. So that hot soup, the sea become the hot soup, no? So that is called as prebiotic soup. That means it only forms the base for the formation of living cell. And this become the powerful symbol of the Operon Haldane view on the origin of life. So later their views became the powerful symbol of the Operon Haldane view on the origin of life. So they didn't work together, they work independently. Though they work independently, they suggested that if the primitive atmosphere was reducing and if there was appropriate supply of energy like lightning or UV light, then a wide range of organic compound can be synthesized. So according to them, what they said means, in the primitive environment, in the primitive atmosphere, if it was reducing, so if it has a reducing property, then because of the physical force like lightning or UV radiation, okay, because of the reduction, it produced that primitive atmosphere produce large amount of organic compound. Thus it formed the living cells. Okay. So next we are going to see about geological time scale. What do you mean by geological time scale? Means the duration of the Earth's history. That means the starting from the birth of Earth to till date. That is called as Earth history. So the duration of the Earth history is divided into eras. So it is divided into 3 eras. They are Paleozoic era, Mesozoic era and Cenozoic era. And all these eras are divided into number of periods, and the periods are divided into number of epochs. Okay. So now we are going to see about what are the different types of eras, periods and epochs, and what are the faunas and floras have evolved during this eras, periods and epochs. While we are learning about the geological time scale, it should be learned from oldest to the youngest, from bottom to the top. So this column indicates the time period in million years. This is the period, and this represents the epoch. And so this column says about fauna and this column says about flora. So the period Paleozoic era the era before the Paleozoic era are kept under Precambrian era. So it is divided into three periods. They are lower, middle and upper. So during this period, in the lower period, no fauna has found, but the flora are planktons and prokaryotes. In the middle period, there will be appearance of eukaryotes. That is, eukaryotic cells started to appear during this middle Precambrian era, and in the upper Precambrian era, multicellular organisms started to develop. So next we are going to see about Paleozoic era. So in the case of Paleozoic era, it is characterized by abundance of fossils of marine invertebrates. So during the Paleozoic era, at the time of Paleozoic era, we got abundant fossils of marine invertebrates. And the later half of this Paleozoic era, other vertebrates, that both marine and terrestrial vertebrates except birds and mammals started to appear. And here this Paleozoic era is divided into 7 periods. So we have to start from oldest to youngest. The first period is Cambrian. Actually, Cambrian is the age of invertebrates. The flora is origin of algae. And the second period is Ordovician. So here this Ordovician, it is the dominance of invertebrate. So invertebrate dominate in this period. And third period is Silurian. So Silurian, actually it is the origin of fish. The earliest fish started to originate. So origin of fish started in the period Silurian. And the fourth period is the Devonian. Here this Devonian is called as age of fish because the fishes are dominant during this period. So it is called as age of fish. And the next period is Carboniferous period. This Carboniferous period is divided into two epochs. They are Mississippian and Pennsylvanian. So during Mississippian, the earliest amphibians started to appear, and the echinoderms are dominant during this Mississippian period. And during Pennsylvanian period, earliest reptiles started to originate. And the last period is Permian. So here during Permian period, mammal-like reptiles started to originate. So next we are going to see about Mesozoic era. In the Mesozoic era, reptiles are more dominant than other animals. So this era is called as Golden Age of Reptiles. So this era is divided into three periods. They are Triassic, Jurassic and Cretaceous. So during Triassic, so what are the organisms originated? Means egg-laying mammals originated during Triassic period. And Jurassic, already know that very well about Jurassic period. Dinosaurs are the dominant animal during Jurassic period. And also you can see that fossil bird, that is called as Archaeopteryx. So it is the Archaeopteryx is the fossil bird that was found in Jurassic period. Then Cretaceous period. So in the Cretaceous period, the dinosaur started to extinct. The dinosaur extinct, and the toothed bird, that is Archaeopteryx also get extinct during Cretaceous period, and the emergence of modern birds occurred in Cretaceous period. And the recent era, that is Cenozoic era. This Cenozoic era is called as Age of Mammals. So during this age, the mammals got well flourished. So this era is divided into two periods. They are Tertiary and Quaternary. So first we are going to see about Tertiary. So Tertiary period possesses abundance of Tertiary period, abundance of mammals originated. This Tertiary period is divided into 5 epochs. The first one is Paleocene. During Paleocene, the placental mammal, the lower placental mammal got originated. Then the second epoch is Eocene. During Eocene, monodremes, that is egg-laying mammals, hoofed mammals and carnivores originated. The third epoch is Oligocene. So Oligocene, during this, the higher placental mammals originated, and during Miocene, here the origin of first human-like apes occurred, and the last epoch is Pliocene. So during Pliocene, human evolved from human-like ape. And the next period is Quaternary. Quaternary period only we are living. Here now we are visualizing that there will be the declining of mammals. So most of the mammals are started to extinct, and at the same time there is a beginning of human social life. So this is the age of human beings. The Quaternary is divided into two epochs, that is Pleistocene. So Pleistocene is the age of human beings. So at that time only human beings started to learn the cultures. So social life started to develop. Then Holocene is the recent year. This is the age of mammal. That means mainly the human beings. So this is the geological time scale. So next we are going to see about how to determine the age of fossils. The age of fossils can be determined by two methods. One is relative dating method, and the second one is absolute dating method. So first we are going to see about a relative dating method. So from the heading itself we can understand that this can be done by comparison. So it is the age of fossil is determined by comparing with the fossil with that of similar rocks, and thus they can find the age of the fossil. And in the case of absolute dating, that means the precise age of the fossil will determine by using absolute dating. So how they will find out this precise age of fossil is by means of radiometric dating. So how means found out the radioactive elements in the fossil, and they measure the decay of that radioactive element isotopes. Thus they can find the age of the fossil. Okay students, I hope you would have understood. In the next video we can see about biological evolution and evidence for biological evolution. Thank you students.